Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to evening devotion. I, in fact, did not mow grass today. I'm still pretty tired from yesterday. It was very muggy today, so I was like, okay, it's okay. It can wait another day. So I'm going to wait. Tonight, we're going to be reading out of Isaiah 51:3. He will make her wilderness like Eden. Now, this is interesting. For the Lord will comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in it, thanksgiving and the voice of melody. Now, there's two meanings to this. The first meaning is a spiritual one, talking about emotional, talking about a spiritual sense of things, talking about the inward glory, basically. Instead of being a waste place of depression and despondency, it'll be an Eden of joy and rejoicing and thanksgiving. Also, it's talking about a physical thing. Go look at a satellite photo of that region and look at all the desert that's there. All of Iraq is a desert. Look at all the desert there. And you know, most of Iraq is their territory, technically, according to the Bible. That's all going to be a Garden of Eden. I had a hard time especially when we were doing our study, we were dipping into the New Jerusalem. I was like, where is this going to sit? Where is this thing going to sit down at? It's 1,500 miles across one side. That's big. And it's a cube. So where is it going to sit? Where would they place it? Well, that desert in Iraq, from the Tigris River all the way over to Israel, is a perfect spot. Perfect spot for it. It may just sit down there. I don't know. We'll find out when the time comes. But all that's going to be in Eden over there. Now, it's actually has a beauty all its own now, but it's going to be better. Much better. We're going to be there to watch it happen. Let's start in verse 1, the Lord's comfort for Zion. Listen to me, you who follow after righteousness. That would be believers. You who seek the Lord. Look to the rock from which you were hewn, and to the hole of the pit from which you were dug. Look to Abraham your father, and to Sarah who bore you. For I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. All who believe are children of Abraham and Sarah. For the Lord will comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in it, thanksgiving and the voice of melody. Listen to me, my people, and give ear to me, O my nation, for law will proceed from me, and I will make my justice rest as a light of the peoples. My righteousness is near, my salvation has gone forth, and my arms will judge the peoples. The coastlands will wait upon me, and on my arm they will trust. Lift up your eyes to the heavens, and look on the earth beneath, for the heavens will vanish away like smoke. The earth will grow old like a garment. So everything we see right now is all, at a certain time, is going to go away. And those who dwell in it will die in like manner. But my salvation will be forever. That's the salvation you and I have. Didn't know eternal security was in the Old Testament, huh? Well, there you go, right there. But my salvation will be forever, and my righteousness will not be abolished. Listen to me, you who know righteousness. You people in whose heart is my law. Do not fear the reproach of men, nor be afraid of their insults. For the moth will eat them up like a garment, and the worm will eat them like wool. But my righteousness will be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. Doesn't get any plainer than that, and it's the Lord's own words saying that. Methinks I see in vision a howling wilderness, a great and terrible desert, like to the Sahara. I perceive nothing in it to relieve the eye. All around I am wearied with the vision of hot and arid sand, strewn with 10,000 bleaching skeletons of wretched men who have expired in anguish, having lost their way in the pitiless waste. What an appalling sight. How horrible. A sea of sand without a bound and without an oasis. A cheerless graveyard for a race of forlorn. But behold, and wonder, upon a sudden upspringing from the scorching sand, I see a plant of renown, and as it grows, it buds. The buds expand. It is a rose, and at its side a lily bows its modest head. And, miracle of miracles, as the fragrance of those flowers is diffused, the wilderness is transformed into a fruitful field, and all around it blossoms exceedingly. The glory of Lebanon is given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. So, if you guys don't know or remember, the rose of Sharon is the Lord, and technically the lily of the valley is the church. Though he can be called the lily of the valley too, because he's the head of the church. You and I are going to be there with the Lord when the earth is changed and made into an Eden. You might even consider we might help him with it. How amazing. Call it not Sahara, call it paradise. Speak not of it any longer as the valley of death shade, for where the skeletons lay bleaching in the sun, behold, a resurrection is proclaimed, and up spring the dead. A mighty army, full of life immortal. Jesus is that plant of renown, and his presence makes all things new. Nor is the wonder less in each individual's salvation. Nor is the wonder less in each individual's salvation. Yonder I behold you, dear reader, cast out, an infant, unswathed, unwashed, defiled with your own blood, left to be food for beasts of prey. Below, a jewel has been thrown into your bosom by a divine hand, and for its sake you have been pitied and tended by divine providence. You are washed and cleansed from your defilement. You are adopted into heaven's family. The fair seal of love is upon your forehead, and the ring of faithfulness is on your hand. You are now a prince unto God, though once an orphan cast away. O prize exceedingly the matchless power and grace which changes deserts into gardens and makes the barren heart to sing for joy. Brothers and sisters, he's talking about our eternal security. There are people all over today, everywhere, and every platform, and every way they can, every room, every church, every hidden place, every open place, trying desperately to get people to think that they can lose their salvation. And they are wrong. They are so disastrously wrong. What a terrible life to live, to think you could lose something you didn't earn, you didn't give, and you didn't acquire. And you don't maintain. Jesus Christ won it. And then he gave it to us. We didn't acquire it. He presented it to us. And he maintains it in heaven. You can no more lose your salvation than you could lose your direction, which we can lose our direction, funny enough. You can no more lose your salvation than you could lose which direction your left foot or right foot is going. You can see that. Or what side of your body your left and right hand are on. Your left and right hand can't switch places. It could make it hard to drive, make it real hard to do dishes, make it real hard to cook, and do anything, really, if your left and right hand switch places. You can't lose your salvation. What has been said, what has been stated, what has been set in motion, what has been set in stone, what the word of the Lord says is true. There is no magic interpretation to it. You have what you have because of him. And you have that forever once you receive it. There is no taking it back. The Lord said, I will never take it back. The gifts and calling of God are irrevocable. There is no losing it. As the Bible makes it clear, nothing can come in between us and the love of God, especially us. If we're worms, if we're nothing, and can do nothing without him, what makes us think we can lose our salvation when he's the one maintaining it, not us? You don't maintain your salvation. You can't. If you couldn't earn it, you can't maintain it. When they came out with the Bugatti Veyron, and it was a collaboration between Volkswagen and Mercedes, I think, somebody. And they built this super car. This car has 1.5 miles of wiring in it. It's the first car to do a street car to do the speeds that it does, well over 250 miles an hour. And the car, when you buy the car, is at the time it was $6 million. I think maybe more or less now, I don't know. But When you bought the car, you signed a contract. You will never maintain this car, and no one else will ever maintain this car except for their technicians. So, a guy here in Texas, he wanted to open it up and let it run, see what it would do. Well, the only place that you can do that, that's big enough, is a place, I think it's in France, and it's a huge track with like a 5-mile long straightaway. So this guy paid to have the car shipped over there, had special shipment to protect it. So it gets there. Well, they had to fly a technician to him there with a special set of tires and a special toolkit. And that technician would change those tires, because at those speeds, things have to be exactly right. Tires will fly apart at those high speeds. You don't tighten lug nuts properly, the wheels will come off. As smooth as you make it, it's still going to have vibrations. And at that speed, that's instant disaster. So he changes those tires over to a special set of tires made for that type of driving. And he changes the tune specifically on the car to do what that guy wants it to do. And then he takes it out on the track and he runs it. And then when he's done, the technician's there all day. When he's done, the technician changes the tune back so it can be driven on the street, and then changes the wheels over to normal tires so it can be driven. And then he flies back to the place to where he came from. And then that guy gets to ship his car back home. When they sign that contract, you literally can do nothing to the car. You sign that contract, so you will not touch it. They are meticulous about that stuff. Now, I don't know if it's the same way now, but that's what it was when they first came out. You had no business touching it because you didn't know what to do. They used special gauge wiring. Everything was set a certain way. Everything was done a certain way so that it would maintain the perfection of the mechanism, and then they would maintain it and they would keep it. Like the oil change on that thing is horrendously complicated, but they would come do it. You couldn't run by Jiffy Lube with one of those and have the oil changed. Not happening. You had to have a special technician. There were people here in America that had those cars that would they could go to certain dealerships in the country. Well, they would go to those dealers and the car would have to wait until a tech was flown over to them to do that work and then flown back. These techs made 6 figures. Very specialized people that had training just in dealing with that car. So the owner of the car paying the money that they pay were not allowed. They had the privilege and the amazing privilege of having this vehicle and driving it. They were not allowed to do things to it. And you had to go through a background check too. I think Ferrari still does that. You have to go through background checks. You can't buy these level Ferraris until you buy this one, but they check everything on you. They don't just sell their cars to anybody. It's very specialized. Well, our salvation is similar in the respect that we may have it and we may own it, but we don't maintain it. We can't. We're not allowed to. Because we'll mess it up instantly. If even for one single split second, the Lord said, okay, I'm going to put this in your hands. You deal with it for now. Instantly, we'd lose it. Instantly, we'll drop it. Instantly, we'll mess up. Like in the movie Goonies, when they had handed Chunk that painting and they were up in the attic. And immediately he drops it. Can't hand him nothing. It's too klutzy. That's us. We're too klutzy. We'll mess it up. We're too unstable. So he maintains that. He keeps that. He does everything that needs to be done concerning us and concerning that. When you finally figure this out, and you won't come to the full conclusion right away. It takes time to get to that. I haven't come to the full conclusion yet. But as we go, we grow in that, realizing more and more, I need to stop worrying about these things from my perspective and start focusing on him and what he's doing and knowing if this is happening, it's because of him. This is what was supposed to happen. And the outcome will be a set way. I need to look to him instead of looking to myself or looking to the circumstance. I need to look to him. This is where the thanksgiving comes from. This is where the praises comes from. This is where the glory and the worship come from. Funny enough, all of society is designed to steer us the opposite direction of that. Look to yourself. Look to thine own self. To thine own self be true. All this stuff we hear, all this stuff we're taught. Well, you need to think about yourself every now and then. I finally got tired of hearing that. After years and years and years, I got tired of hearing that. I said, you got to think about yourself every now and then. I said, no, I do not. I'm an adult. I make my own decisions. And if I decide I'm going to go full tilt helping people and doing what I can to be kind to others and be a benefit to others and die in the trying of that, I'm going to do it. Oh, well, you're probably not going to enjoy it. I love helping people. That is my enjoyment. Because if I think, and I told one guy too, I said, no, let me tell you how my reason. If I start to think about myself, I will not help anybody ever again. I'll walk away from everybody I know and everything that I know, and I'll only take care of me and deal with me. Because that type of mentality is a very selfish mentality. So, and we were there at that time. We were there. We were all working together on a project, and I said, if I change my mind to think about me, I'm leaving. I'm leaving all you here to deal with this yourself. I'm leaving. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to deal with this, except for the fact that I desire to help. So if I change to being only about me and my cause, I'm leaving all this behind. Forget you all. You just deal with it what you're going to deal with it. I don't care. I'm going to just think about me, but I'm not like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not built that way. I don't think that way. I want to help others. And if it means that I will, because it will be a detriment to me in the long run of my life, so be it. But I will live, and then ultimately when the time comes, die, knowing I did the best I could to help others and be a benefit to others, because when I'm laying on my deathbed, I won't have any regrets. And think back like many people do. I wish I'd have done more. I wish I'd have helped more people. I wish I'd have done this. Wish I'd have done that. I won't have that because I did it. So if you want to think about you, go ahead. I'm tired of hearing that. And the conversation ended, and everybody changed the subject and didn't want to talk about it no more. Again, I got so tired of that. Self. That's everything that all society tells you. Self. Have your best life now. Do this, do that. Give this, and you'll get that. Do this, and they'll do that for you. And I'll tell you what, it's never happened in my life, ever. I've heard a lot of promises, but it's never happened. And that's okay. I don't care. I don't do this for those reasons. I'm not motivated by getting something back. I'm happy to help. The Lord has given me a unique set of talents. I'm happy to help. The Bible tells you to deny self. It says it plainly, deny self. Now, obviously, there are things we do think about. I'm going to make chicken fajitas tonight. I like chicken fajitas. I enjoy that. I'm going to make it because I enjoy it. That's okay. That's not a selfish thing to do, because everybody around me is going to get the benefit of that. But it's when you neglect others to make it for you, to take care of you, to make it a benefit for you. Like all these people on food stamps, and they got tattoos, they got $1,000 set of nails, hair, and they're driving a Tesla, $100,000 car, or Mercedes or something like that. So that's the opposite of what the Bible says. The Bible says deny self. Help others. Do good things. Be a blessing and a benefit to those around you as best you can. Now, uniquely, in our particular time that we're in, it's getting hard to do that. Because a lot of people are like, what are your motives behind this? What are your ulterior motives? There's a company called WD Detailing, and this young guy started this company, and he has a YouTube channel, and he finds old cars. People can recommend them, but he finds these old cars, like old that have been sitting, and he details them really pretty, makes them real nice. And he has since he started this and picked up some steam, he's partnered with a group that actually will help get it running and even possibly do some restoration on it too, so that people can enjoy like family heirloom vehicles. And this one recently it was this gal's dad's pickup, but her son called these guys and said, hey, I've got a vehicle for you might like to work on, and showed them where it was, and they got it, and they took it out of there. Well, mom didn't know. She was mad. And so I guess he didn't close the door to the storage. And so she went up there, and she's like, I want my truck back. That's my dad's truck. And she thought they were going to steal it. And He really had to go out of his way to explain to her, that's not what we do. I'm just detailing it for you. And she was really, even in the after, when they were looking at it, she was still really, he was trying to comfort her, but she was still kind of apprehensive. It's hard to do stuff for people nowadays. It's hard to be kind to people. I see guys go up to, in grocery stores, and I think they do this wrong. I told one guy one time, a couple years ago, they would go in there and people would check, ring up their groceries at the self-checkout, and they'd push them out of the way and run their card through and pay their groceries. I was like, hey, if you would ask them first, maybe you'd get a better response, because some of them were getting upset. And I still see some guys doing that. They got money and they go up and they're just paying real quick, and then there you go. Well, ask them first. Hey, can I do this? Can I pay for that for you? Be nice to them. But people don't understand. They think you're up to something because of the society we're in. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do good stuff for people. But we do the best we can. And we do these things for whoever we can. Whether it's anonymous or not, you do the best you can. And I'll close with this. Jesus made it clear. He made it clear. If someone gives one of these little ones a cup of cold water in the name of a disciple, that's the least possible kind act you can do. I'm not going to give you a cup of water. I'm going to give you a cup of cold water. In the name of whatever that guy's name was that was over here the other day preaching the gospel. I'm going to give that in your name, in his name. He will in no wise lose his reward. When I bought that young man that was living on the streets those 2 orange sodas, he really liked orange soda. I would have loved to have done more, but analyzing the situation with what I've learned over the years, that was enough. There was no need to go any further. There's some steps he needs to take to get out of that situation. But everybody else was ignoring him and telling him go away. I was the only one that actually offered to help him and give him some words of encouragement. Hey man, get off the streets, man. I lived on the streets. I know what this is like. It's bad nowadays. It was easier back then. It's bad nowadays. Get off the streets, man. He almost wouldn't make eye contact with anybody else except for me. In the beginning he wouldn't, but afterwards he did. You never know that little bit of effort, especially when it's unexpected. Covering somebody when they're short at the convenience store. I do it when I find a chance and I have an opportunity. Here you go, I'll pay for it. I had a guy do it in front of me the other day. I said, I was waiting to see if you were going to say something. I said, dude, I was about to do that, which is exactly what you just did. He goes, yeah. He goes, I wasn't going to let him go, just that little bit. I was like, I've done it a bunch of times here in this store and a few others. But yeah, every time I see it, I just hate it. Just put mine on there. I'll take care of it. Ain't no big deal. Little kind acts, little kind gestures like that have such a huge impact. People will remember that the rest of their lives. That's the stuff we need to be doing. Giving them a word of encouragement from Scripture. You don't even have to give them the gospel. Here's the amazing thing. You're going to go mow, aren't you? I figured you were. I kind of waited. I said, I'm not going to mow. I'm still sore from yesterday. She might want to mow later anyway. So.
I want to. I just need to do it.
Then you wait and do it tomorrow.
Well, we need tomorrow.
I'll help you. So, our grass ain't that tall. My mom's was pretty tall. It grew 5 inches in a week, so it needed to be cut bad. But those kind gestures, those little acts of kindness, have a big impact. Then people will remember that forever. This is going to sound weird. And I'm sorry, I'll close with this. I've got to tell you, this is amazing. So, when I went and got my GED in Corpus Christi, when I was, in my late teens? In my late teens. 18, 19. 17, 18, 19. Yeah, because I just got my driver's license. So I went to the JTPA program here in Texas and got it at Del Mar College in Corpus Christi and got my GED. And I met somebody there, and she was struggling with geometry. Well, for me, geometry clicked. And I just smoked that stuff. She was having problems with it. She said, would you tutor me in this? And I actually tutored several people in there. So I said, yeah. And her name was Dreama. I'll never forget her name. She was a short, blonde girl. She was heavy set. But she was super, super nice. And I said, yeah, I'll help you. And so I helped her. And she aced it. And she says, and even her parents were like, hey, thank you. Her dad, her brother even was like, hey, thank you for helping her with that. I said, no problem. They all came up at the graduation and she introduced them. And she took this little piece of blue leather And she put these beads on it. And it's just different colored beads. It's just cheap stuff. And it was a little bracelet. And she gave it to me. I still have it to this day. She was so appreciative, so happy, so ecstatic that she made that. She did so well on the geometry portion of the test we had to take at the end. So much gratitude. She made that. And it's cheap stuff. It didn't mean anything, but it meant something to me because of what was behind it, the motivation behind it. I still have it to this day, and I still remember her name. I'll never forget her. To this day. I'd love to run into her. Hey, what have you been up to? You never know what will happen. The basic training in 2008 at Fort Knox, the Episcopalian preacher, such a super nice guy. I'll never forget that guy. I still see his face. Super nice guy. Never forget him. You never know that kind gesture, what kind of effect it's going to have on that person. And ever since I was 17, I always made it a point. Every day, make somebody smile or make somebody laugh or both. It may be at the home if I don't go anywhere. Maybe my wife, maybe my son. But every day I try to make at least one person smile or laugh or both. You never know. People remember you when you're like that. And I think it's a show of the Spirit within us. And so when you encourage people, you don't have to give them the gospel. Just show them that Christian love, that love of Christ that dwells within you. You'll be amazed at the impact it'll have. They will remember you for the rest of their lives. Until we all meet in heaven. What a day that's going to be. What a day that's going to be. And we're going to be surprised we made it. And we're going to be surprised at who we see there. Might be surprised at who we don't see there. Not looking forward to that. But anyway, here's the thing. We'll be with the Lord. Nothing will change that. You're going to go stand with the Lord. No born-again believer, no born-again child of God is going to hear the words, I never knew you. He knows us. We're saved. Of course he knows us. The only people he says I never knew you are the ones that aren't saved, the ones he never knew. No, don't let anybody convince you this. No born-again believer will ever hear the words, I never knew you. Because I know a lot of people out there are trying to get that to happen. They're trying to make you feel bad so that you'll come buy their merch or give them money to get some kind of justification on that. If you're born again, you will never hear those words, period. You are his. You are his. And like the devotion said, we're his forever. You ever want to know what the Garden of Eden looks like? Well, you can't see it, but you're experiencing it in a spiritual sense because of the salvation Christ has put in your heart. I love you all very much. I bless you all in Jesus' name, and I will see you in the next video.